Big brush fire burning west of Phoenix has grown to nearly 1,000 acres.
It's primarily burning in Buckeye and is heavily fueled by vegetation called salt cedar, which is very volatile and carries a lot of heat. Firefighters brought in bulldozers over the weekend to try and cut off that fuel supply, but changes in the wind caused the fire and smoke to pick back up.
Yeah, and depending on where you woke up in the valley today, chances are you smelled it like there's a big campfire right there in your backyard. 12 News journalist Jade Cunningham joining us live now from that fire, and boy, putting off a lot of smoke now for days, Jade.
Yeah, for several days. In fact, it was an active day over here in Buckeye. You can see the wind also still a factor here. But it was a very active day over here in Buckeye. My photographer and I, we have been out here for most of the afternoon watching as fire crews, as well as firefighters, fire trucks, even helicopters and other air sort of machinery and equipment. They were trying to suppress this fire. About 30 minutes or so ago, we actually watched the smoke transition into this black billowing cloud of thick smoke. You can see, though, that it's kind of transitioning back to that white smoke. Still a very active fire. There have been some challenges with this blaze just because of the gusty winds and the fire's location in the riverbed. Crews, though, have worked tirelessly since Saturday to try and increase the containment up from 0%, which is where it was this morning. Now, crews have attacked this wildfire from the ground and the air today. Bulldozers were busy trying to add additional containment to this blaze. There is a lot of salt cedar that we've been hearing from officials. Some would consider this a highly invasive tree or shrub. Others arguing that it's actually beneficial to our ecosystem, but it's not native to Arizona. It dominates many of our riverbeds and washes, which is where this fire is. And for fire officials, it's a concern because it increases the risk of wildfires just because of how dense it is. And I spoke with ASU ecologist and botanist Julie Stromberg about salt cedars and the conditions in the riverbed where this fire is burning.
That stretch of the Gila River, just fed by the salt. You have a mix of salt cedar. There's also some mesquite that's growing down there, and you have some salt bush, which is a salt tolerant plant. They're all sort of fairly salt tolerant creatures that are deep rooted, drought tolerant. The density has become so great along that river, partly because, again, it traces back to the fact that we don't have those scouring floods.
Now, one of the main things that is really concerning for fire officials with these plants is that officials say that once salt cedars have really established themselves, they can regrow really easily, even after situations like this where there is a large wildfire in the area, and they can keep that wildfire cycle going, because once these trees burn down, they'll just regrow right back again, which is when it can fuel wildfires again. Now, we haven't heard about any injuries with this wildfire, which is definitely some good news. At this time, there are no evacuations in place. There are also some road closures, like here at Miller Lane and Hazen Road. There's kind of a partial closure just so fire crews and fire trucks can get in and out easily to try and help contain this fire. We are expecting an update from fire officials within the hour, probably around 5 o'clock or so. You can stay with 12 News on air and online as we learn more about this developing situation. Reporting live, Jay Cunningham, 12 News.
Yeah, Jay, that was interesting because when you see the flames hit those salt cedar trees, they just explode almost. And she's saying it's gotten so thick down there because, is that the Gila River? We don't have the huge flows of water that would pull away little saplings, so those trees are able to grow there for years and years.
Yeah, the trees can grow very fast. They can grow very dense. Also, these trees have needles on them that once they fall to the ground, that obviously can create a kindling, if you will, that can really ignite fire and help it spread as well. So, a lot of concern with these trees and just brush overall in this area.
All right, Jade Cunningham, live for us out in the West Valley. Thank you, Jade.